I'm Debbie Gonin-Braun from Team Gonin at RE/MAX About Town. Thanks for tuning in to the Suburban Toronto Real Estate Sales Report. At Team Gonin, we specialize in residential real estate in the Oakville, Milton, and Burlington areas. So the results I'm going to review with you today are of these three areas, and I'll be discussing the results for the month of May 2010. Just so you know, there isn't a primary real estate board that services all three areas, so I've had to take statistics from two different sources. The Oakville and Milton stats have been taken from the Oakville, Milton, and District Real Estate Board, or OMDREB, and I have used data from the Realtors Association of Hamilton or Burlington, the Hamilton Board as I call it, or REHAB, to obtain results from Burlington. The May highlights are as follows. Basically, we have seen a peak in the Oakville and Milton markets with 917 residential sales reported by OMDREB for May, and this is down 12.6% from May last year. There were 1,451 residential sales reported on the Hamilton board, but interestingly enough, Burlington sales are up over last year. Listing inventory has increased, with 2,102 active residential listings appearing on the Oakville board and 5,273 of them appearing on the Hamilton board. And because of this growing inventory, we're starting to see a change in the market. The pendulum is basically starting to swing the other way, and I'll show you what I mean over the next slides. I've used charts to compare results for each of the towns and city. I'm not only going to compare this year's results to last, but I'm also going to look back at 2008. And the reason for this is that the latter part of 2008 and the early part of 2009 were negatively affected by the financial meltdown. Basically what we saw were residential real estate markets that were really slow from October of 2008 to roughly March or April of 2009. Now in the chart, you will notice, where's my cursor, that the ivory columns represent sales in Oakville in 2008, the purple 2009, and this bluey color sales so far this year. And as you can see, sales for 2009 were really slow at the beginning of the year and only really started to pick up in April or May, whereas sales this year have been very similar to those in 2008, with the spring market hitting early. In fact, in Oakville, we haven't had really a spring market. We've had a very active market for about the last 6 to 8 months, starting from the end of October of last year. Now in May, the sales have slowed somewhat, which is typical of a summer slowdown. In a typical real estate market, if there's such a thing as a typical market anymore, the spring market is usually the busiest market and starts towards the end of January or the beginning of February, and it remains really strong through the months of February, March, April, and May. The market usually slows down for the summer months and then picks up again for the second busy market, which occurs between September through to the end of November. And generally the months of December and January are slow due to the holidays. So if we go back to May results, the sales are down 9.7% from last year, but only 2.5% from 2008. And even though they're down on a monthly basis, year to date, residential sales in the Oakville area are up by a whopping 33.5% when compared to 2009. The average sale price in Oakville for May was $577,071, and this is an increase of 5.3% year over year and 10.7% higher than 2008. I also like to look at the median price because to me that's a truer indicator of price. And for those of you that don't know, the median price is the price that sits right in the middle, so it can't be easily skewed by one or two high sales. The median price for Oakville for the month of May was $493,500, which is up 14.8% from May 2009 and 16.1% over 2008. The number of residential sales in Milton for the month of May were down 23.6% from May 2009, which seems kind of dramatic, but we're actually up 4.8% over 2008. And similar to Oakville, the year-to-date sales are still up 13.5% when compared to year-to-date results for May 2009. To be completely honest, the market was just crazy in Milton for the early part of this year, so in my opinion, it's a good thing that sales have started to slow down. Buyers now have many more houses to select from, and they can actually take their time to think about a home rather than being forced into competition immediately. Now, the average sale price in Milton for the month of May was $405,381, and this is up 13.4% over May 2009 and 18.8% over May 2008. $371,650 was the median price in Milton for the month, up 7.8% year over year, and up 14.4% since 2008. As you can see from the chart, the Burlington market is still growing in May, with the number of residential sales 19% higher this May than last, and 8.5% higher than those in 2008. Now what's really interesting is that the total number of sales on the Hamilton board were actually down 5.5% in May of this year over April of this year, and even though the real estate board in general was lower, the Burlington market has still remained very strong and is still growing. Now the average sale price in Burlington for May was $387,901, and this is up 5.9% from May 2009. And the median price in Burlington was $349,338, and this is up 6.2% since May 2009. So what conclusions can we draw from these results? Well, in Oakville and Milton, the residential real estate market has already started to change, and I would predict that although Burlington's results were still strong in May, we will see a slowdown in the month of June. We are definitely heading into a summer market, and as such we should expect sales to slow down. Whereas earlier this year the market was a definite seller's market, and due to the lack of inventory, homes were selling, often with multiple offers, for substantially more money than asking price, we are now heading towards a balanced market with many more homes on the market. Now this is great news for buyers, as there are far more houses available for you to choose from, and you now have actually time to choose. I believe also that buyers will be at an advantage for the next few months, because some of the houses that are currently for sale on the market now are by sellers that have already purchased another home. And as time comes to close on their new homes, if they haven't sold their existing ones, then buyers may be able to buy these homes at slightly lower prices. Now this is obviously a short-term advantage only. I don't see it lasting more than a few months. In fact, we are already starting to see sellers list their homes prior to buying something so that they won't find themselves in the situation of owning two homes. What to do next? Well, if you are a buyer looking to buy a home within the next few months, I would recommend that you attend a free home buyer workshop. It's absolutely critical that you start to understand where the market is heading. But also at these workshops, you will learn about the entire buying process from beginning to end, and we will have presentations from all sorts of people involved in the process. Information about the home buyer workshop can be found under the Buyers tab at the top of this blog site, and you can even register online. If your plans involve buying a home in the future, let's say within the next 6 to 12 months, I would recommend that you start to get lists sent to you free by email. This way you can learn and watch to see for yourself what the real estate market is doing. Again, information can be found under the Buyers tab on the blog site, and you can select which home lists you would like to receive. Well, that's it for now. Thanks for tuning in to the Suburban Toronto Real Estate Sales Report for the Oakville, Milton, and Burlington areas. My name is Debbie Gonin-Braun from Team Gonin at RE/MAX About Town. Have a wonderful day.